In Argentina, the primary, open, simultaneous and mandatory elections, known as PASO, are underway, as it will define the candidates who will run for the presidency on October 22nd. The Spanish National Police, Europol, and the German Federal Police dismantle a criminal organization dedicated to smuggling Assyrian migrants to Spain, Germany, and Norway. United States authorities confirmed that the death toll from the fires that ravaged the Hawaiian island of Maui rose to 93. Hello from the headquarters of teleSUR English in Havana, Cuba. This is From the South. I'm your anchor, Gladys Quesada. And now we begin with the news. In Argentina, the primary, open, simultaneous and mandatory elections, known as PASO, are underway, as it will define the candidates who will run for the presidency on October 22nd. Polling stations opened this Sunday at 8 a.m. local time in Argentina and will remain open until 6 p.m. local time. More than 35 million people are called to vote in simultaneous and mandatory open primaries, the PASO, to choose their candidates for president, deputies and senators who will compete in the primary elections on October 22nd. The Electoral Justice of Argentina received a total of 27 pre-candidatures by 15 political alliances to compete in this Sunday's primary elections. After voting day, there will be 22 presidential hopefuls, a record number since the South American country first applied this vote in 2011. Pre-candidates must obtain at least 1.5% of the votes to remain in the race for the general election on October 22nd. And during voting day in Argentina, President Alberto Fernandez went to the Catholic University of Puerto Madero to cast his vote on Sunday. In statements to the media, the Argentine representative began by saying that whenever people vote, Argentina becomes a better country. Within the framework of 40 years of uninterrupted democracy, the president urged the citizens to go to the polls to exercise their constitutional right, since it is the way to express the people's will for the future. The head of state highlighted the importance of the electronic voting system and emphasized that it works very well in relation to in-person voting. Also, Sergio Massa, the presidential pre-candidate for Union for the Homeland, cast his vote in the province of Tigre, Buenos Aires. The current Minister of Economy, Massa, highlighted the importance of citizen participation on his way out of the polling station. He pointed out that 40 years of uninterrupted democracy is a reason to celebrate, and the occasion was appropriate to congratulate all the logistics, personnel, and security forces for the excellent organization and good order with which the elections are conducted.
First thing I want to do is to thank all those throughout the country who are working with the polling station authorities, the public prosecutors, the security forces, who in some way are enabling the voting to get underway on such an important day. So first of all, I want to thank them. Obviously to all the security forces who since yesterday have been working on the distribution and setting up of the polling station. So I think it is also important.
And after voting in a polling station set in the Superior School of Health Training in La Plata, the governor of Buenos Aires, Alex Kicillof, expressed that it is a very important day for democracy and called on the citizens to reflect on the vote as the way to decide on the future of the nation.
Years away from the recovery of democracy and beyond the political positioning, which is honored and updated throughout every election, it is a very important day, a day when all our people have to express themselves and vote in the province of Buenos Aires, in peace, with normality and calmness, a day to reflect and to decide to take in our hands the democratic right to express ourselves throughout the vote. It is a call to all the people of the province of Buenos Aires to go and vote. A beautiful day to go and vote, to go and decide, a day to choose very important elections. We must not postpone the decision, we must vote.
And in this context, a judge in Buenos Aires has sounded the alerts about electronic voting system malfunctioning in the autonomous city of Buenos Aires. Electoral Judge Maria Servini denounced in an official letter to the electoral authorities that some 240 electronic voting machines set up in the capital city had problems that caused delays, mainly due to a lack of equipment, technical failures, or lack of qualified personnel. The judge estimated that 30% of the machines in the autonomous city of Buenos Aires had some kind of technical issues, and underscored that the fact that there is no precedent of failures in this magnitude in the previous elections. And as election day continues in Argentina, we keep knowing deeper about the candidates running in the simultaneous and mandatory open primary elections. In this case, the right-wing liberal political party Liberty advances.
2023 is the first year in which the extreme right-wing libertarian bloc Liberty Advances will participate in presidential elections after being founded prior to the 2021 legislative elections, where it obtained 5.5% of nationwide votes. In this case, the party has only one candidate for presidency, the economist Javier Milei, so there will be no internal dispute for the post. However, expectations are focused on knowing the real electoral strength of this party, which stands out for its fiery claims against the political system at a time of strong economic and social crisis, and whose conservative slogans even include the denial of the genocide produced by the last civic-military dictatorship in the country. Javier Milei jumped to the political scene through his participation in mass media, where he argued against social justice and in favor of free market. At the international level, the economist keeps relation with the political circles of Brazilian Jair Bolsonaro and the Spanish far-right coalition Vox. Some of his campaign proposals are the dollarization of the economy as a way to fight inflation and the elimination of the central bank.
Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find the news in different formats, news updates and more. Other stories coming up, stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. On Sunday in western Pennsylvania, United States, the death toll following a home explosion rose to 4. Emergency services reported that the accident occurred after a blast at a house and 2 other residences caught fire. Allegedly, county officials confirmed 4 people dead, as a 5th person is still missing and 3 others were taken to area hospitals. Following the incident, along with rescue efforts, over 20 firefighters were checked, many for heat stroke. Currently, approximately 18 fire departments are working to extinguish the flames with the help of water tankers and continue in search of missing persons. On Sunday, the Spanish National Police, in collaboration with Europol and with the German Federal Police, dismantled a criminal organization in the cities of Cuenca and Toledo, allegedly dedicated to smuggling Syrian migrants to Spain, Germany, and Norway. Cristina Morales, the spokesperson for the Spanish National Police, said that the criminal organization allowed the smuggling of irregular asylum seekers from the ports of Almería and Murcia to the outskirts of Madrid, housing them in 7 locations. The alleged traffickers arrested were part of a wider network dedicated to smuggling migrants from Syria to Europe through Libya, Tunisia, and Algeria. The Spanish police estimate the criminal network organized 68 illegal transfers and smuggling of approximately 550 Syrian refugees into the European Union.
Route passed through Africa, Asia, and Europe, with each migrant paying 20,000 euros. The criminal network had alliances with other criminal organizations in each country along the route. This allowed them to obtain an economic benefit of 2.5 million euros.
On Sunday, Pope Francis asked not to be indifferent to the death of asylum seekers who die in the shipwrecks as they try to reach Europe in search of better living conditions. The Supreme Pontiff, in his weekly Angelus prayer, offered his prayers for the 41 people reported missing on Wednesday after the shipwreck of a boat that left the port of Sfax, Tunisia. He also lamented the latest United Nations figures that shows that more than 2,000 asylum seekers lost their lives in the Mediterranean since the beginning of the year. For his part, the Pope encouraged politicians and diplomats who are trying to heal the open wounds of humanity with a spirit of solidarity and fraternity.
Another tragic shipwreck happened a few days ago in the Mediterranean. 41 people lost their lives. I pray for them. And with pain and shame, we must say that since the beginning of the year, almost 2,000 men, women, and children have already died in this sea, trying to reach Europe. It is an open wound for humanity.
And now we move on to other topics. United States authorities confirmed that the death toll from the fires that ravaged the Hawaiian island of Maui rose to 93. According to official estimates, more than 2,200 structures were damaged or destroyed, causing $5.5 billion worth of damage and leaving thousands homeless. Hawaiian authorities launched an investigation into the management of the fire, while locals said there was no warning of the blaze. Hawaii's Governor Josh Green, during a tour of one of the areas affected by the blaze, said that the death toll will continue to rise and that this is the deadliest fire in the last century in the United States. A total of 1,418 people are in the 6 temporary shelters set up to attend to those affected. There are still several active fires on the island, and firefighters continue to work to extinguish fires in Lahaina, Pulahu, Kihei, and upcountry Maui.
Yeah, I've pretty much everybody's saying the same thing, that we had no warning, no evacuation notice. So a lot of people were not prepared, that by the time they find out that it was time to go, it was almost too late. A lot of people got trapped, and it's just really sad.
Okay, there was no warning. Like I said, I was paying attention on my phone to the news, okay? Oh, it's so many hundreds of miles south. We're going to have some strong winds. It's going to play havoc with our trade winds. Nothing to worry about. Okay? The next day, when the storm passed by, okay, all of a sudden, my apartment went black. I said, is it going to rain? When we opened the door, it was orange from the fire.
In Russia, more than 2,000 people have been evacuated after floods caused by the passing of the typhoon Kanun, which caused floods in the Primorsky Krai region in the east of the country. The Russian Ministry of Emergencies reported that a total of 28 populated areas have been cut off by the floods. The authorities reported that 13 temporary shelters have been opened, while the teams of electricians will be restoring power supply after the water recedes at substations. According to the Hydrometeorological Service of the Primoria region, the water will continue to rise at least until August 17th. Therefore, a state of emergency was declared at a regional level in 21 municipalities in the Primoria region. Now we move on to other topics. On Sunday, Russia's defense ministry posted a statement on Telegram saying it thwarts Ukrainian terrorist drone attacks over the Belgorod and Kursk regions. The Russian defense ministry said no damage or casualties were reported. In a later statement, they also reported on a third drone attack in the Kursk region, which again caused no damage or casualties. Ukrainian authorities have not yet commented on either attack. Ukraine is said to have unleashed a series of attacks on Russia's border regions in recent months, notably Bryansk and Belgorod, which have been hit with drones and artillery and raided by paramilitary groups. And now we have a second short break coming up. But before, we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. And there you will be able to rewatch our interviews, the top stories, the special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. We have a final short break. Don't go away. Welcome back. On Sunday, Cambodian Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn received his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi that he met in the capital Phnom Penh. The meeting took place as part of the Chinese Foreign Minister regional tour to Southeast Asia as tensions flare with the Philippines in the South China Sea. Under the rule of the outgoing Hun Sen, Cambodia has become one of China's strongest allies in the region, getting huge Chinese investments. Cambodia, along with Singapore, Malaysia, and the Philippines, are all members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. China hopes to strengthen strategic communication with Southeast Asian countries through this visit. In Pakistan, a convoy carrying about 20 Chinese engineers was bombed when it passed by the local police station. So far, no casualties have been reported. The insurgent group, known as the Baloch Liberation Army, claims responsibility for the attack. The victims are part of the staff of the Asian giant participated in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a project financed by Beijing with $60 million. The Punjab Home Department has directed the Chinese nationals living in the province or working with private companies to hire private security companies of A category for their security. The Home Department and the police held a meeting in the month of February this year to review the security of the Chinese nationals working on the government and private projects in the province. In Syria, local media reported on Sunday rocket and drone attacks against a illegal base of the United States forces northeast of the nation. 5 shells hit the base installed in the Conoco gas field and another 4 in the Pentagon's base in the Al Omar oil fields, both located in the eastern province of Deir ez-Zor, according to the national daily Al Wuran. Likewise, an American military barracks south of the city of Ain Issa in the governorate of Raqqa was attacked with 2 mortar shells. Likewise, 2 statements circulated on social networks in the name of the popular resistance claiming these actions. Russian authorities warned that the warplanes of the U.S.-led military coalition have violated Syrian airspace about 32 times in the last 24 hours. According to the Russian Center for Reconciliation of the Warring Parties in Syria, about 14 unmanned vehicles and about 18 aircraft are reported to have violated Syrian airspace in the last 24 hours. According to the data released by the Russian authorities, the Western military alliance, under the pretext of combating terrorism, continues to create dangerous conditions in Syrian skies by conducting intrusive flights that contradict the protocols. According to Damascus, the unauthorized United States deployments in the northeast of the country are aimed at continuing the plundering of the country's resources, mainly by appropriating Syrian oil. And the people of Cuba and the progressive forces of the world commemorate on Sunday the 97th anniversary of the birth of the historic leader of the Cuban Revolution, Fidel Castro Ruz. The revolutionary leader is remembered as a universal symbol of emancipatory ideas and of the anti-colonialist and anti-imperialist struggle. Among the values and principles he promoted stand out humanism and internationalism, as well as laying the foundations of a system based in equity, having people's well-being at the core of the social project. Every August 13th, the Cuban people pay tribute to Fidel, not only in the Santa Ifigenia Cemetery, where he remains rest, but also in the streets, schools, in daily activities, and in the construction of a better future. And we have come to the end of this news brief. But remember, you can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also, if you feel so inclined, please join us on social media for all the latest news. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm your anchor, Gladys Quesada. Thank you for watching.